Hi there, welcome back. I'm Natalie Rand here, your Ayurvedic practitioner, yoga and Pilates master instructor. I'm so excited to connect with you. Today, we're going to go back to basics. So, we've been doing a lot of hopping around, keeping it kind of simple, talking about yoga, talking about breathing, talking about weather change. And right now, it's a little drizzle over here by the coast. So, we're keeping it kind of warm and inside the studio. So, what I would love to do is start with some basic breathing exercises that are going to set us up into Pilates. So, as we know, a lot of Pilates, the history of a lot of the work has been pulling from different modalities, from yoga, very obviously classically, fencing and boxing and bodybuilding. Joe Pilates was like a really diverse mover. So he was also inspired by being a sickly child. He had like rheumatism and rickets. But aside from all of the things that inspired him to move, today we're going to get into some of the basic things and just kind of relate everything to maybe some other practices that we have and really show how different movements always are interrelated. So that's something that we really pride ourselves on at CUHS, the university. So I figure why not implement it today while we practice, all right? So I'm ready and set up behind. We will start standing, all right? My mane will be back a bit. I'll roll my back here. And we are going to start in a position that we all know well, which is parallel, right? Both of our big toes together and heels are going to go slightly apart. And as you see, I have like a little bit of pronation here in the back of my leg. So I'm going to wrap my muscles so that way I'm really finding the engagement of the muscles. I'm not just locking back. Like if you see the profile, naturally I want to stand with hyperextension. But I'm going to actually lift the muscles in my legs so that way it's not so pronounced in terms of my my pronation in the lower half of my legs. I'm going to lift up. So this is me not doing any work, and this is me doing work, right? So pulling the navel in up, finding a nice deep breath. And when I breathe today, I'm going to try my best to find my breathing in my upper back instead of just allowing my chest to rise and fall or my belly to rise and fall. I'm going to pull the navel in and up, right? Let's have you put your palm on your chest near your heart, something on the left side, and then the opposite palm on your lower belly, all right? So take a deep inhale, exhale, let everything be normal. All right, we'll do the same thing again. We're going to breathe in this time. And as we exhale, we'll keep the connection in our lower belly and in our front of the belly. And we're going to exhale into the upper back. Out through the nose. Let's do it in through the nose, out through the mouth. Exhale. Find the muscles that are in the lower half of the abdomen. As you exhale, one more deep breath into the nose and out through the mouth. Okay, there's so many styles of breathing, right? Breathe in. Exhale out through the mouth. One more deep inhale. And exhale. Let's turn the big toes and the front of the feet out, right? So we have like basically the big toe, pinky toe, and heel are on the floor. And then let your hands go. Make a fist with one of the hands. And I want you to bend over. If you need to bend the knees, it's fine. Otherwise, you can just lean over. Place the fist in between the big toes. And you want to put the big toes just outside your fist, okay? Then from this position, come all the way back up, right? So it's not like a full turned out position like you're a ballet dancer. It's more of a military stance. So a slight turn out with the big toes. Find the lift in the inner thighs, pull the navel in. And we're literally going to bend both knees. So the knees are going over the first and second toe. And then extend the legs, right? Very simple. Bend the knees and extend the legs, right? So this is something you can also do if you're lying on your back on the floor and the feet are against the wall in an L shape. You can bend the knees with the pelvis completely. And this would mean that your hamstrings and everything that you have in your lower system is fairly available, right? And extend, right? So we're just doing a small little bend, bending the knees. And as you press away, I want you to find your abdomen and pelvic floor. Press the big toe, pinky toe, heel into the floor, extend the legs. And I want you to re-engage the bottom of the feet as you bend the knees again. So it's you're resisting on the floor. Exhale, press into the feet, right? So the feet are working really hard. The arches aren't collapsed. The big toe, pinky toe, and heel are pressed into the floor. You're going to extend out, right? We'll do that 3 more times. Bend the knees. Inhale. And press. Exhale. Good. Twice more. Breathe and bend. And it doesn't have to be, it can be natural breathing, you know. 1 more time. Breathe and bend. If this is too difficult for you to do without any support, you can do it against the wall, right? Same thing. Now we're going to have from here, keeping the big toes, pinky toes, and heel in the same position. You're going to press the big toe and pinky toe down. I want you to do a slight incline. So kind of like on back in the day in that Smooth Criminal video that Michael Jackson made. It's almost like your body is slightly leaning forward, right? So the back of the Achilles are getting a little bit more of an extension. All right, and then from this position, I want you to find the heels, squeeze them together, and you're going to try and squeeze them so much that you float the heels and then lower them down. Again, it doesn't have to be all the way up onto the tippy toes. You don't need to go there, right? Whatever works for your body right now, I'm allowing you to shift forward because we're going to do something oppositional right afterward, all right? So feel the inner thighs, squeeze your heels, big toe, pinky toe, and heel, press down, pull the navel in. And as you pull your abdomen in up, it's going to help initiate the lift of the heels off the floor. As you squeeze them tight together, have this image of a candy cane, right? Press the right and the left heel together and lower, all right? So all the muscles in the hips should activate. You should feel a sensation in the inner thighs, right? And same thing, 5 more. Squeeze the heels. Again, always check with your primary care physician if this is not something familiar to your body, right? Especially most people don't even address their feet, yeah? Let's do 3 more. Squeeze those heels together. And if your balance is being challenged, again, you can go against the wall. 2 more. We're still on that slight incline, so the body is slightly forward. You should feel it in the hips. You should feel it in the inner thighs. And if you don't, you're either incredibly strong. And if you do, and it feels uncomfortable, you can stop. All right, 1 more time. Squeeze the heels, breathe, and lower. All right. While you're lifting and lowering the heels down, you want to try not to grip your toes, right? So find the feet on the floor, press them down to the floor, right? Lift the arches. So if my foot's sideways, if it's relaxed, it's just kind of like down on the floor. If you have a natural nice arch, that's great. Feel that pinky toe and big toe, right? Almost like a nice intentional press with the bottom of that foot, right? And then you're going to go back to that flat V position. When your heels are together, your feet are pressing down, right? So there's an activation happening through the back of the legs. Now, this time, when we originally started, we were leaning slightly forward. This time, we're going to try and stay on our heels. So if we stay on our heels, it means it's going to be almost impossible to raise up, right? It's going to be harder for you to get your body off the ground. So find the abdomen, pull it in and up, and then you're going to do a small little raise. And you'll see my body's going to keep trying to go forward. I'm trying to keep my body backwards, squeeze so much in the heels that both sides of my inner thighs and hips have to work so hard just to lift me off slightly, all right? It's a really small movement, but when you're doing it correctly, you feel it a lot, right? Pull the navel in, squeeze the heels, and lower. And I'll go back to the front so you can see my feet in that small V position. Squeeze the heels, squeeze the inner thighs, and down, right? You don't have to squeeze your glutes. Automatically, the pelvic floor muscles are gonna feel the intention to come in and up. So feel that lifting, right? Try not to drop your body forward. Try to keep going backwards. It's a great idea to do this on the wall too, because different muscles turn on. 2 more, squeeze and lift. Keep the body going backward as you squeeze. And 1 more time, squeeze and then lower. Release your heels, right? There should be a fire. You should feel a nice sensation in the hips and in the thighs. If you're doing it right now, give me a thumbs up so I know that you're actually out there. And if not, it's okay as well, right? So moving right along. So we did the first half of the exercise, which is just bending the knees. This is a really nice way to introduce footwork, which later on goes on a reformer if you do have access to that, right? So now we're going to bend the knees. We're going to straighten out the legs. We're going to squeeze the heels, press into the feet, and we're going to do a small little baby lift and lower down, all right? I'm going to go to my max. I'm going to bend my knees. You can put your hands on the hips if you need to have a little bit more support, or you can lean completely against the wall, raise on up, right? So really the feet are working hard. And for me, it's actually more difficult to keep my feet in less of a turnout because my legs naturally want to turn out, right? Notice if you're using one leg more than the other, and really make an effort to try your best to find that equilibrium between both feet. Press into the big toe, pinky toe, and heel. The heel is really anchoring you and lower down. And then bend the knees and then straighten on up. Same thing again, lift through the pads, right? So the pads are pressing into the floor, the heels are lifting. Squeeze both of the feet together and notice the palms of the feet and release the heels, all right? So now that we're nice and warm in our hips and our inner thighs, and what you'll do when you do like this very simple movement, you'll notice that the bottom of the feet, how you use them, especially if you're a person that's always driving, you'll notice right away the right leg is ready to do all the work, right? So have the intention to really try to feel both sides of the body, and if there's any imbalance, it will show up immediately, all right? Now from here, we're gonna go to the top of the mat. We're gonna put our arms together. While your palms, you'll put one palm and forearm on top of the other, kind of like a genie position. When you're here, I want you to press. So you resist underneath and you press down and you're pressing up simultaneously, right? You're gonna start there. We're gonna do the same exact exercise. Start in parallel, do a small little turn out position, press into the arms, drop the shoulder blades down the back, bend the knees and breathe as you press into the palms and straighten the legs, all right? Same thing, press and resist in the arms and straighten the legs. All right, one more time, make sure the knees are going over the first and second toe. Make sure your pelvis is not completely hyperextending behind you. Two more, press and resist. Good, one more time, press and resist. Good, and then we're gonna switch the palm on top. So you should feel that pretty well in the deltoids underneath your laterals. Switch palms on top, really push and resist. This time we're gonna lift the heels, all right? Now I'm gonna just show you for a minute how it looks to lean against the wall. Allow the back of your head to lean against the wall. Zip your navel in and up so much that you can actually feel that there's like a little bit more space behind the lower lumbar because you're pulling your abdomen up. I don't want you to flatten your back. I want your natural curves in your spine to continue. Press the palms together, squeeze the heels and then lift and then lower down, all right? The body weight is going back behind you. It doesn't mean that you're leaning on the wall, but there's an opportunity here for you to really do the work and know that you're not gonna fall, all right? Squeeze and press the arms and lower down. Use both pads, the metatarsals in both feet, pull the navel in, right? All those nerve endings are underneath the feet. So really just acknowledge them and squeeze the heels. And as you squeeze the heels, naturally your adductors turn on your inner thighs. Squeeze, pulling the navel in as high as you can. Good, one more time, squeeze in the lift. And release. Good. Relax your shoulders and arms. So the whole upper carriage, that's your deltoids, your pectoral muscles, all the way across these muscles that are basically generally shown off during the summer, right? The clavicle or the neck, the shoulders, biceps, all of that is worked, right? Your goal not being to concave when you press, but in fact to lift up through the front of the chest. So the front of the chest is not protruding and overextending. It's lifting up as you find the abdomen. It's going to just help hug and support all the stacking of the vertebra, right? And their natural curves, right? So from here, we're going to go down, just do the basic. Now, if you're not a person that can bend down and slowly bring yourself all the way down, like bending both knees, you can also find the wall, my trusty friend, this is the BFF here, and then allow yourself to lower down on one knee and then the other, all right? And then you'll basically allow your body. Now, if you can't go onto the knees, then you'll basically find a chair, maybe sit down. I'll skip this section, right? So from here, palms are going in front of one another. If you are healthy and you have access to the knees and hips, or if you're not injured, right? And you're gonna let your body go all the way down, right? Allow your belly to stay in, and you'd probably be even more graceful than I was just now. Slowly allowing your body to round down, wrap behind the knees, and then round your back to lower the back all the way on your mat, all right? From this position, we're gonna prep, so we do get ready to do our hundreds, which we've done here before, right? And the hundreds are a great way to kind of reconnect with all of your inner system, warm your body up by utilizing your breath, breathing inhale through the nose, exhaling out through the mouth, and warming up your insides, yeah? While you're doing that, you really wanna find the intention to resist your body on the floor. So today, we're gonna keep our knees bent. Press the feet into the floor like you did while you were standing, all right? You'll inhale, pull the navel in. Exhale, keep the navel in. Feel the balance of your pelvis on the floor, right? Again, inhale, breathe in, and exhale out. Now, I want you to lift your arms. You're going to reach the arms as you press the feet down into the floor. Inhale, reach the arms all the way up to the ceiling. Exhale, bring the arms down to the side of the waist. Keep pulling the abdomen in. All right, inhale, breathe and reach the arms up. Exhale, bring the arms down to the side of the waist. Now, while you're here, let them go all the way up by the ears. Don't allow your ribs to flare. So you're really working your abdomen as you pull the navel in. There's no tucking in the pelvis. You're just squeezing the inner thighs like you were when you stand. And exhale, bring the arms down to the side of the waist. If you have the ability to bring the arms further back without flaring your ribs, feel free. Otherwise, pull the abdomen in like crazy, like you're doing a crunch. And bring the arms down to the side of the waist. One more time. Press the feet into the floor. Pull the abdomen in. Try your best to keep your pelvis balanced while you're here. Feeling the adductors, the inner thighs are really connecting. Find the belly. Good. And then from here, you're going to curl up. Now, when you curl up, try not to completely lose your chin. Don't pull the chin down, right? You're going to keep a slight lift and feel the back of the chest come off the floor. And then lower the body down. So that's where the thoracic spine lives, yeah? Exhale, press the inner thigh legs together and bring the body up. So this is really giving the baseline. Now, if you feel your neck and shoulders are giving you a hard time, you can do the practice with just letting the hands be your pillow and just lifting the back of the body off the floor, right? Try not to disturb the pelvis. Really work your abdomen down as you bring your body up and leave the healthy curve in the back of the neck as you lift. All right, one more time. Exhale, curl the head and shoulders up. Don't lose the space between the chin and the clavicle, the front of the chest. Keep that space there and really work hard to bring the back ribs off by squeezing your abdomen, all right? From this position, if you can sustain it, you're going to pump the arms as you breathe in. 2, 3, 4, 5, and out. Shh. Into your nose, out through the mouth. Breathe in. Breathe out. In. Out. 2 more. Inhale. Exhale. One more. In. Out. 2, 3, and rest. So we didn't do all 10 of the hundreds, right? We did 5. Why? 2 reasons. One, because I was doing it slower, right? So that way you're able to follow. But also because when you're doing the hundreds, you don't want to talk. It's not ideal, right? You're slowing down, you're trying to keep the rhythm. So I will do the rhythm by exaggerating my breath during the exercise. If it's too much for your neck and shoulders, you can keep your head down on the floor and really rigorously pump the arms, right? They'll look like this. So it's like you're dribbling 2 basketballs beside you. Even if you don't bring the head and shoulders off the floor, by squeezing the inner thighs and really being strong in your arms, you will get this amazing feeling in your deltoids, the back of the triceps, and do yourself a favor, press the feet into the floor, keeping your elbows slightly bent, all right? That'll get things really flowing so the blood will move through the body, all right? We're gonna do the whole sequence. When we do the whole sequence, we're gonna do 5 rounds because we started with 5, right? Squeeze the inner thighs if you're staying here, otherwise you're gonna climb the back of the legs to do the hundreds, all right? If you wanna challenge yourself a little more, you can bend the knees. If you want to go to a full challenge or squeeze the legs, if you really want to get in there, you can lower them so they're hovering off the mat, okay? We're only going to do 5. Inhale for 5, exhale for 5. In through the nose, exhale through the mouth. If you're able to do those exercises without the belly kind of going every which way and without completely losing it, go ahead and do the full cycle. But remember, we're doing basic today, so there's no need to go all the way to your max unless you're practicing this on a regular basis, all right? Inhale, reach the arms up. Exhale, I'm not going to count this time, I'm just going to pump and breathe, and it's going to sound like this. Go to release the head and shoulders. All right, how did that go for you? I hope it went really well, right? Inhaling through the nose, exhaling out through the mouth. Find your body on the mat. Reach the arms all the way up and make space in your vertebra. Squeeze your heels into that same stance you had earlier. We're going to do 3 simple roll-ups, right? If you need assistance, you can have somebody hold your feet, or you can just simply curl up like this, right? Find the inner heels, find the glutes, press them together, and then lower the body down. Again, if it's too much, you can skip this exercise. If you're available to roll completely up by pulling your body off the floor, keeping your legs in that same position, reach forward 1, reach forward 2, reach forward 3. Notice I'm not catching. I can touch my feet easily, but that's not the point. The point is to lift the abdomen in and up, find this place that's really connected, and roll the body down. We don't want you to flatten the spine out. You're going to keep the spine nice and spacious, so that way you're utilizing your muscles and also stretching the spine by pulling the abdomen in. 2, 3, and then squeeze the heels. It's almost like your fingertips don't want to leave, right? They don't want to leave the toes. You keep reaching for them, and you keep reaching for them, and you try to keep your heels in the same position. It is absolutely impossible, but it creates a different exercise than just rolling forward and dropping forward. Once more. Exhale, round the body. Reach forward for 3, pull the navel in, reach forward for 2. If you feel your pants slightly being pulled, then you know you're doing it correctly. Keep squeezing and reaching, try to pull the shoulders down once you can. The palms are staying up, the arms are staying by the ears, and you're squeezing, and then you finally, when you can't anymore, you let go, all right? From here, we're going straight into the single leg circle, right? So today, we're gonna keep the knees bent. Bring your right leg all the way up to the ceiling, and I want you to go ahead and put your hands behind the knee. Pull that knee into the chest, but keep the foot high to the sky and stretch out the lower back without overly rounding the back. Keep your pelvis on the ground, straighten the leg out. And if you can't straighten the leg, go to where you can without compromising the length of your spine. All right, one more time, bend the knee in and extend the leg. From this position, ankle circle for me for 3. Nice and simple. 2, you're really opening up all the muscles in the back of your leg, stretching out through the foot, acknowledging it again as you started in the very beginning of the class. From here, press the hands out to the side of the waist. And today, you're going to reach through the toe. And I want you to open the leg out to the right, press into the left palm. Let that leg go all the way down and across as you press into the left foot. Bring the leg to the center line of the body, slice through the center, and then open that leg again. The whole time, the goal is for your pelvis to stay so quiet, unbothered, and it doesn't move. Really work that left leg and keep it still. Squeeze and press into the floor. Good. We're going to go 3 the other direction. Down, slicing through the center line. Try to keep that left knee facing the sky. Right now we're on the right leg. If you start on the opposite leg, just do the same thing. When you go to reverse, one more time, press down, pull the abdomen in. Try your best not to arch the lower back or overly curl it. Bend the knee and rest, all right? So there's going to be a slight natural space underneath the pelvis, and that's fine, as long as you're activating your abdominal muscles, yeah? Pressure, palms down, bend the knee into the chest, and then extend that leg up to the sky, grab behind the knee, bend that knee into the body, stretching out the back of the hamstring, and then lengthen through the leg, wherever it goes for you. Bend the knee, and then lengthen through the leg. One more time, bend the knee, and stretch it on out. Keep the leg here. Ankle circle the leg around for 3. Ankle circle for 2. Really luxuriate in the bottom of that foot. Feel the back of the hamstring and the back of the calf and the back of the knee. Feel it open, all right? From this position, reach through the toe. You're going to open the leg out to the side. Don't move the leg that's here. This leg is solid. It's almost cemented, right? 2, let it go out to the side. Feel the opposite side of the body press into the mat. And down and around. You're drawing a really large circle. You can even think of it as drawing a backwards D, right? Pull it all the way up. And the torso is strong and solid. It's like you're a robot or complete statue. And down, open to the side, bring it back to the center, and bend the knee, all right? Good. From position, reach the arms all the way up. Find your thighs, find the back of the leg, right? Or you can extend the legs, pull the abdomen in. If you have no problem doing a roll, you'll squeeze the heels together and peel your body off the floor. And from the position, fingertips go down. Shift your pelvis to the very top of the bed. Hug the knees in and get ready to roll like a ball, all right? From here, squeeze the heels tight together. Now, if you have any spinal issues or if the mat's not thick enough for you, you can skip this and just try and balance and engage the pelvic floor muscles. Otherwise, keep your heels close to the seat and you're going to just rock back and forth. Squeeze and rock, right? The whole time your goal is to come back up, but it really doesn't make or break the exercise. If you stay low, you're still getting that back massage, right? From here, let your head lower. Pull the right knee into the chest. I'm going to do a really nice, simple series of 5. So if you get to this position and this is enough for you, you can keep your head and shoulders down. Otherwise, graduate and curl the head and shoulders up, and then switch knees. We'll do 5 for today for the sake of time. So I'm explaining a lot since it's a basics class. 3. Good. And then we'll do 2 more. Pull that knee in, stretching out the lower back. You're activating hamstring stretch, depending on your body, of course. And then relax the head and shoulders. This whole series can be done without your head lifting off the ground, right? Sometimes people tend to say that they're having issues with Pilates with their neck, or it's not for them because of their neck. Then you have to look for the ways of you to modify until you get strong enough in your head, neck, and shoulders, okay? All right, so from this position, let's shift back a little bit. We'll do the same thing. Inhale, pull both knees into the body. Squeeze the heels together. So you have that same stance that you had earlier where the feet were in a small V shape, right? Now you're creating that with the knees slightly out. So the knees stay within the body's box. The knees are not completely turned out outside of your body. They're just at the edge of the body's box, right? Where the ribs and the torso are. And then you're going to curl the head and shoulders up if it's available to you, all right? And from this position, if the head and shoulders are going to come off today, you'll inhale, reach the arms and legs away, scoop the navel in, so it's pulling in, and then you're going to catch the legs. Now, I like to offer just a nice reach when you're beginning for the first time, especially because you're still able to get a lot out of the exercise by pulling the abdomen down and reaching the legs forward, and then bring it back in, right? And then when you'll slowly graduate, you can put the hands behind the head, and then bring it in, right? Or you can do the full expression and then hug the knees, all right? And that's the double leg stretch. Moving right along, we're going to go into the single straight leg stretch, right? Before we go into single straight leg, we'll have you pull, pull, and switch up. Looks like there's some sort of error. That's weird. Well, I hope you guys can see me either way. So we're going to move through it, all right? Looks like there's some instruments, okay, got it. Anywho. All right, moving right along. Just want to make sure I was still plugged in, right? So from here, we're going to do the single straight leg stretch, and we'll also go into a modification for the next 2 exercises. This is the infamous 5 series. All right, let your body curl down. I hope this is useful because I know we've been doing some of these exercises, and I don't always break them down. The right leg's going to go up to the sky. The opposite leg's going to reach out. So you have 2 scissors. If your legs can't straighten, they'll look like this, and that's okay, right? The goal is your pelvis stays in the same position. So climb the back of the leg, breathe into the back. If this is too much for you, you can keep the hands behind the head, or you can curl the head up, right? Now, the exercise will look like so. Pull, pull, the abdomen pulls down. The legs are coming to you, and switch, right? Let the leg come to you, and switch. Again. So you're dumping the air out twice through the mouth as you pull the abdomen down. One more time to the right, one more time to the left, right? While you're doing the exercise, you can modify and just do both legs swinging back and forth with the scissor. Working really hard, pulling the abdomen down, right? And relax, all right? Next exercise. This is also a position. If you find, see my rib cage? Pull the ribs down. The ribs want to be downward, not collapse, but abdomen pulling in so they're not flaring, right? So from this position, if you need to bend the knees, feel free, so that way there's no overworking of the hip flexors, all right? If it's okay for the legs to extend, they will. You can either press your elbows out to the side or pull the abdomen in. If it's available to you, you can turn the legs out slightly, right? And for me, I'm going to curl my head and shoulders up. So today we're going to teach you a very, very simple version, which is lower for 3 counts. Bring them right back to 90 degrees, all right? Inhale, 2, 3. Exhale, bring it up. Elbows are going to stay open. The back ribs are trying to come up. Good. And 4, 2, 3. Squeeze the heels. And lower just for 3 counts. Exhale, bring it up. One more time. Down, 2, 3. Exhale, bring it back. Good. Rest. All right. Now, when you get a little bit more advanced, you can offer the option to lower further down, right? And then when you get really rehearsed in practice, you can lower close and then bring it back up. right? If you're compromising with your body while you're lowering the legs, it defeats the purpose of doing the exercise. Really honor where you are today, all right? So crisscross. So crisscross is another way for you to connect with your transverse abdominis, all right? Pull the right knee into the chest. You can either keep one foot on the ground so you can press the floor as you twist to come up and switch, or twist to come up, right? So this is a nice simple version to start with. One foot's on the ground. Utilize the foot that's on the ground to bring the back ribs up, right? And if you want to do a little bit more, you can tap the opposite foot and alternate right away, right? So one foot's not staying on the ground, it's changing as you change. And your goal being to bring this back shoulder off the floor, back shoulder off the floor, and you'll find that one side's a little bit more accessible than the other. All right, you only have to do 5. I'm just showing you different versions so you have the option to feel what works for your body. And then the opposite, or the most advanced variation, is coming this way and coming that way. Twist. Keeping your elbows open and looking back toward the elbow as you lift up. Twist. And twist. Twist. Right? Really focus on that second one, because sometimes it gets lost. Right? The goal being to make sure that your body is not going wild, right? Because you've seen people do what's called bicycles sometimes in the exercise world, and it looks like there could cause some troubles, right? So think of that when you're doing these exercises. And from here, arms reach up again, and we're going to do spine stretch forward, right? Find the ribs again. Exhale, flex through the heels. Roll the spine all the way up to the beginning position. And then separate your legs, right? If you need a little bit of help here, you can put a little bolster or something under your pelvis or cross the legs. You can even do this one seated in a chair, right? Inhale, reach the arms long. Exhale, dump the air out as you round your spine, not trying to flatten or stretch out the hamstring, but instead trying to lift the abdomen up, squeeze the belly muscles in and up, and then stack the vertebrae as if you're against the wall. Palms go onto that imaginary table. Breathe in. Exhale, dump the air. Inhale, stack it back up and reach through the arms as you get taller and taller. Engage the glutes like there's a fire underneath you. Flex through the heels. One more time. Breathe it in. Exhale, dump it out. Stack it up. Reach through the heels. Stack it up. Get taller and taller and taller. It's almost like someone's going to lift you off the ground. And then relax. All right, how did that go? I hope it went really well. So that's kind of like the ABCs of classical Pilates. You start with a nice little acknowledgement of the feet. You start with feeling through the breathing exercises and allow the breath to flow through your system. You have the ability to make a little bit more sound through the mouth. In some yoga practices, it's usually inhaling through the nose and exhaling through the nose. But it really depends from teacher to teacher, right? Here, we're kind of just visiting concepts and playing around and really checking into your body so you can see, okay, I've done something like this. What is the difference, right? How can I make a connection? And Pilates, what I find in my experience is it really lends to make anything that you do a little bit better, right? So it can really strengthen your yoga practice. It could strengthen your running club or whatever it is that you do that you love, swimming. It'll help you find that awareness and create a lot more lengthening in linear positions through the spine. So there's more awareness surrounding balance when you're doing the moves. Yeah? All right, when we flip over to the belly, we're going to kind of talk about some of these relative exercises in yoga, right? Right, so from here, we're going to do what's called press-up neck roll. Let's have you lie one ear down on the floor. Take a nice deep inhale and exhale. Let's go to the other ear. Breathe in again and exhale. If you have a very tight neck, it should feel really good just to be laying on the floor. Breathe in and exhale. Good. Now I want you to come back to the center, bringing the forehead down. Bring your palms close to the rib cage, right? For today, pull the abdomen up. I want you to press the palms down and start to lift the back of the chest up, which keeps the head in line with the rest of the body. Keep your feet into the floor and try not to disturb the pelvis to begin today. All right, and then lower down. So we didn't really press into the hands yet. Now you can bring the hands a little bit further back if it's appropriate. Otherwise, stay by the chest. Press down to the floor as you start to lift the body up, right? Pressing down with the palms. Keep the elbows close to the body. Go high as you can and then lower the body down. Now again, if you feel discomfort when you're bringing your body up, then it means that that's not an exercise for your body, right? Pressing the feet down. Try not to dump into the lower back. Your goal is to pull the abdomen up so you can support your spine structure and then lower the body down, all right? Now we're gonna bring the Pilates into it all right? Keeping the elbows bent today. Pull the abdomen and look to the right. Drop your head down to the front of the body. Notice that the shoulders are gonna wanna lift. Come back to the center. Other way. Press those palms. Look to the left. Drop the head down through the front of the body. Look to the opposite direction. Come to the center. And then lower all the way down. I think for me, that's really pretty high these days because I haven't been doing the more advanced postures, right? From here, sit all the way back into child's pose if it's appropriate for your knees. Otherwise, you can just back off and sit up. And release the head down if it's okay. Breathe in, breathe out. Good, and then we're gonna go back onto our bellies, right? From here, let's prop up onto the elbows, which in yoga is Sphinx position. In Pilates, we close our fists and press them down, right? Today, we're gonna keep the palms here and just notice that the belly is gonna wanna drop, just like that. See how I'm dumping in my lower back? I want you to find your belly and pull it up, right? So you have some support through the front of the body. And then I want you to press the fist down into the floor, pulling the shoulder blades back, right? Feel what feels right to you. If this is too much, you can stay on the belly and do the same exercise. You're gonna keep the pelvis still, zip the inner thighs together, and just kick your right heel into the seat. Stretch out the front of the thigh. It may look like you're relaxing on the beach, but you should be working so much that if I asked you, you could lift your elbows off the floor and your abdomen is still working so your pelvis isn't dumping down and shortening the spine, but instead the muscles are working really hard. All right, your gaze is going to go slightly out past your fists and you're kicking, stretching out the front of the thighs, pushing the fists down. So laterals, the front of the chest and the back. This is a great exercise for your whole upper arms and shoulders, right? If you really utilize the movement. All right, 3 more. 2 more. Notice I'm flexing my feet. You can point yours if you want. 1 more time. Squeeze the left heel in. Squeeze it in, squeeze it in, squeeze it in. Pull the navel in, press the fist down. And switch. Same thing, opposite side. Squeeze it in, squeeze it in, squeeze it in. And then relax. All right? Let your body lower and then sit back into child's pose. Knees are going to go wide, palms long. Drop the head and breathe. Good. Feel if there's any tension on one side of the back versus the other. And breathe into it. Good. And then from here, we're going to slow down and cool down, right? So go into all fours. Round your back to open up through the QLs, the quadratus lumborum, the quads of the back. Arch the chest. Open up the chest without completely dumping out the belly. Lift up. And then curl the spine. Good, and then go to neutral spine and just reach your right leg out to check in. Make sure that you're just lengthening through the back. This is okay for the wrists. Reach the opposite arm directly out in front of you, pulling the abdomen in. Same thing, opposite side, and reach that leg out. Breathe into it. Resist the floor, lower that leg down, and breathe the other arm straight ahead. Good, and then find your way to a seated position. All right? How did that go for you? I hope it went really well. So really simple. All right, we just covered all of the basics of like classical Pilates, yeah? And if you found that it was really boring and easy, then let's talk about how you can deepen things, right? Everything that you do can fully be utilized and it can be advanced based on the how, right? I could give you a series of insane exercises that you'll never be able to do. Or I can give you something that's really approachable that you can dig really deep into that'll do like years of work, right? Years of work, and it's sometimes the basics are more difficult than the advanced movements, right? So keep that in mind as we work together, and then we'll have a fresh start next week. Maybe build on the same concepts, but do them in the right speed or the more intermediate speed, all right? So let's have some time to just regroup. Close your eyes for a moment. Take a moment to reflect on how you feel in your body. Think about all of the things that you did to contribute to its running smoothly in the world. And really just give yourself some gratitude that you took time out to take care of yourself today. All right? Take a deep cleansing breath. And release it. Again, breathe on in. And release. All right, and remember, you don't have to do it alone. You can meet me here on Thursdays at 1 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, and we can do it together. All right, if you have any requests or things that you're looking to strengthen, work on, or questions, feel free to chat me up in the chat. And otherwise, I will see you next week. It's always a pleasure. I'm Natalie Rand, signing off to see you until next time. Ciao. Thank you so much for joining.